You were listening to a Nerd Room podcast, a member of the Star Wars Commonwealth Podcast Network. Be sure to check out more from the Star Wars Commonwealth on the web at starwarscommonwealth.com and take your first steps into a larger world. Hey everyone, and welcome to the Nerd Room, where we talk all things comics and movies. This is episode number 55, where we're discussing 2017's most anticipated in collecting, comics, and film. I'm your host, Tim.
I'm Troy.
And guess who's back?
Sunjay's back.
Sunjay's back.
Coming off a somewhat lengthy hiatus.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Sunjay is back in the Nerd Room.
I'm kind of nervous. Like, I haven't been doing this for a long time, so I don't know. It feels like the first time.
Yeah?
Yeah, it feels like I'm a podcast virgin again.
Well, it's good to have you back, man. And Sunjay's going to be joining us for a large chunk of 2017, particularly around our film reviews. We have a lot of films coming down the pipe in 2017. We're going to go through a whole slew of them towards the end of the episode here. But Sunjay, his area of expertise is in film. He's a cinephile. He has a collection of, 1,100 plus Blu-rays?
Not just Blu-rays, but DVDs as well. I think my latest count was 1133, so... Yeah, I have quite a bit of movies.
Yeah, so it's going to be good to have the third body here. Sunjay and I sometimes sit on opposing sides when it comes particularly to DC.
What do you mean? We both love Man of Steel.
Yeah.
We both love the Dark Knight trilogy.
This is true. We do butt heads other places, but it's great to have you back in the Nerd Room.
It's good to be
here.
back.
And he's going to be joining us, too, for our 16-month MCU retrospective series. So this is something that we're going to start doing here in January, starting with Iron Man. We're going to going through the entirety of the MCU, building into a weekend of review of Avengers Infinity War. Now that's May of 2018, but we're starting this retrospective series so we can bring you guys a bonus episode every single month so that we have the chance to look back at these films and what they've meant for building this universe into what is the beginning of the end of what we know as the MCU currently.
So we're going to start with 1990s Captain America, right?
Oh, we're not going that far back.
Ang Lee's the Hulk?
Yeah.
Not touching that one.
No.
A little closer?
A lot of this, too, is going to be in sequential order of release, with the exception of the month of release or the weekend of release reviews we're going to do for the likes of Guardians of the Galaxy, Thor Ragnarok, Black Panther, and Spider-Man Homecoming. So they're going to be slotted in there. So the order is going to be slightly disjointed, but I think bringing you these movies on the week of release and not retreading them later on down the road to try to do this series in order is going to be a real benefit to the series itself.
Just think of it like the X-Men movie universe. It'll kind of make sense, but it'll be a little bit tangents here and there.
Yeah, exactly. So that should be lots of fun. Look at that coming down the pipe. We haven't really worked out the logistics as far as when exactly we're going to release it, but probably the third week of January. And we're going to keep that consistent month by month on that kind of third week. That's what we're thinking right now. No promises. Troy just threw together a sick graphic. They're going to be dropping on Twitter and Facebook and all that, so you guys can keep track of what movies are coming down the pipe next as far as our Nerd Room retrospective series in the MCU. So, Rogue One. This is a film we've been talking about lots lately. There's a lot of talk within the Commonwealth about it too, so go back and check all those other guys out, StarWarsCommonwealth.com. But we do have a relatively newcomer to the Star Wars franchise sitting across the table from me here. Sunjay, you did have a chance to check out Rogue One. Briefly tell me your thoughts, coming from a perspective of a relatively new Star Wars fan.
Okay, well, I really enjoyed the movie overall. I thought it was a good movie. But to me, it kind of felt a little disjointed, like a tale of two movies. You know, the first half of the movie is a little bit confusing for a non-Star Wars fan, such as myself. Non-Star Wars expert, such as myself. I am a fan. I do enjoy the series. This is my 5th Star Wars movie I've seen, so getting up there.
Yeah.
Only, 3 more to go?
Yeah.
Okay. So, it's better than when we started this podcast and it was 0, so...
Do you feel this movie could have benefited off of using a crawl?
Yeah, that crawl is like typical Star Wars. It's like Batman without the cowl. Like, you have to have the crawl, right?
Or without the retelling of the Martha...
Yeah. So the first 30 minutes, is jumping around from planet to planet, and they didn't really stay in one place for too long, and I didn't know a lot of the characters. These are all relatively new characters, and maybe if I watched the show Rebels, it would make more sense.
Not
Nope.
really.
Okay.
Maybe a little bit.
Yeah.
Like there's some of the, particularly when it comes to the council and that, there's some of those figures that you'd be a bit more familiar with. Even if you saw the prequels, there's a few characters in there that maybe you would got, but they're more nods to the characters themselves and to the larger universe, as opposed to actually being like pivotal characters within the film itself.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. But the second half was great sci-fi. I loved it. Like, the action scenes were awesome. You know, I saw them coming together. I know Tim's going to hate this, but coming together like a Suicide Squad.
I do not like that reference.
But yeah, no, second half was great. And I don't want to spoil anything, but that final scene with like the last 2 minutes was super cool.
Yeah.
Seeing stuff happen like that. I don't want to give too much away. And then the one scene at the trading outpost reminded me kind of a Blade Runner as well. So, one question I had, one of the characters, I think he was like a general, he looked totally CGI.
He
What
was
was
totally
it?
CGI.
Okay.
Yeah.
That man,
I'm
Peter
not-
Cushing, he played Grand Moff Tarkin in A New Hope.
Yeah.
He died in 1994.
Oh, okay.
See, so that's interesting to get your perspective on this. What did you think of that? The effects on that character?
It kind of took me out a little bit because I could tell, okay, he's CGI'd. I didn't know that he had passed away. So if I'd known
Okay.
that, then I would have been like, okay, I'll give it like a pass.
Right.
It's kind of interesting. I don't know why they didn't just recast or use a younger actor. It's brand new technology, and maybe, you know, in the future they'll improve upon it. But it did kind of look a little noticeable, but it was passable.
Right. It never took you out of the film or anything. So
Not really,
okay,
no.
awesome.
No, and I think the reason that they went that path, I think this is a topic of debate for the future, is that using actors that have passed away and using their likeness or even their exact face almost and replicating that, what are the implications for that going forward? It's a bit strange to use. I think personally, as a Star Wars fan, having it in there meant a lot more to me because I just that character's face, like this movie is butt up against A New Hope.
Yeah.
And so having that character age like 0 days, like this
Right.
is literally on top of it. So having that exact character likeness or a relatively close likeness to it, I think benefited the movie, at least for myself.
Yeah.
And that's interesting because I did have a chance to go see it for the second time. Absolutely loved it again. It's I think I got more out of the film the second go around. I think I fanboyed out so much the first time that I missed a few things. And I came out of the movie a bit, and we talked a bit about in our review about some of the things I was like, this makes sense, but I wish I had a little bit of this. And it's all in there, I think. I think I just missed some of the connections and some of the pieces I didn't quite remember. But having that second viewing under my belt, I really, really enjoyed it. But my wife came with me. She was super stoked to go see it. She's a Star Wars fan, and she had a very similar view to you in that the start felt a bit disjointed. She was a bit confused, but I asked her, I said, at the end of the movie, how did you feel about it? And she felt that it all ironed itself out. Like she got it.
Yeah.
She understood character motivation. She understood the connections and the planets. And some of it's going to feel all a little bit disjointed because you probably didn't feel like the Vader scene, the first one, really made that much sense when he goes and visits Krennic. Yeah. So there's some of that in there that's a bit of fan service still. And I think to us, it makes a lot more, especially having the background of the stories and the novels and the comics and all that. So some of that in there, I do get that. And seeing it a second time and having those sentiments, you know, explained to me by different people, by non-Star Wars fans, I understood that a bit more. I still think it's a fantastic film. It still ranks up there for me. But my wife did too comment on the CGI of Tarkin, and she was a bit confused. She had overheard someone say about CGI.
Okay.
And so she thought that was the character, but she was of the thought that if no one had told her, she probably wouldn't have noticed.
Interesting.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Yeah.
Because so she was shocked when I told her that he had been dead for that long.
Many years. Yeah.
He looks good for being dead for 20 years.
But that's an interesting perspective to have because that confirms some of the feedback that we've been getting from non-Star Wars fans about the start itself and the lack of crawl, like you did mention, Trey.
Yeah, that's right. I definitely think I'm going to pick up this book, the novelization on Rogue One, because I heard it fills in more things with like Bogey and one on other characters, explores a little bit more of their elements. So definitely going to pick that one up.
Yeah. And this movie continues to absolutely dominate the box office. Had a massive weekend over this New Year's weekend and all that. And that's one thing we should say. Happy New Year's to everyone from the
Yes,
Nerd
that's
Room.
right. Happy 2017.
Yeah, Happy New Year's, guys. Stay safe. Have a good year.
Yeah, but as this movie drives into 2017, it continues to dominate the box office here. It's now has a over $400 million total domestically and over $350 million in the foreign market, not including China. It does open in China this week. And it seems like Disney has really taken a liking to this December slot. Rogue One did really well, or has done really well.
Yeah.
Force Awakens did unbelievable in this
Yeah.
slot. We do have Episode 8 dropping this year in that same December timeframe. And it looks like early reports are stating that Disney is looking to move the Han Solo anthology movie due out in 2018 into that December time slot as well, which seems like a very smart move. They seem to be planting that flag. We've discussed this before on the podcast about whether or not Disney should just plant it there and say, look, Avatar, take a hike into January or wherever. Star Wars is owning this. In the last 2 years, they've made almost $3 billion in that December timeframe, which is insane. Episode 8 is going to do gangbusters as well in that same time slot. Because you look... Rogue One has got 3 straight weeks here, and there's nothing really opposing it. You got a lot of Oscar bait films dropping,
and Sing,
and
Passenger.
What is that, by the way? I saw that. It's like one of the highest grossing movies.
I know.
What is that?
It's like American Idol or X Factor meets like animals, basically. Zootopia.
Yeah.
Right?
Really? Oh, yeah. So it's
like animals, and they sing.
They have this underground sing club, like this X Factor.
Okay.
First rule of underground sing club is you don't talk about underground sing club.
Well, I was looking at like the biggest movies of the year, and then this Sing movie popped up. I was like, I have no idea what this is. Like it's number 13 already.
Or The Mermaid from China was like in the top 10 for a while there, and it's like 500 million China, 2 million North America.
It's a Chinese market, man.
No, it makes a lot of sense of what Disney's doing, switching out Han Solo's movie there, because I think in May it's going up against Transformers,
it's also
Jurassic World, and Infinity War, right?
Yeah.
So you have to do it.
They're eating themselves there, right?
Yeah. So, and I guess this kind of diminishes what I thought earlier. I think maybe a couple podcasts before, I thought we were going to get 2 Star Wars movies a year. I think by them doing this, that definitely shuts that theory down. We're sticking to just probably 1 movie a year.
Which I think is for the best. You don't want to like oversaturate the market.
Well, at least for now. I mean, until we're done the saga films, the episode 8s and 9s, I think we'd have to see. But for now, I think it's just going to be a one movie a year.
Yeah, and I'm happy with that. I don't really think we need more than 1 Star Wars film a year because we get the other content, right?
It's
the
not books, the novels, everything, right?
Yeah, exactly. And even with the Rebels TV shows, and there's talk of another TV show taking that over eventually. And so we do get all this content to fill in that space in between the movies here. And even with the saga films, getting another movie franchise stuck in between it, I think is a really cool concept as well. But it's really interesting, this non-linear franchise narrative, right? Because we're not really used to this. This is a good question for you, Sunjay. Were you confused about where this movie sat, or did you have a good idea as far as, relative to A New Hope or relative to Revenge of the Sith or these other movies, even The Force Awakens? Like, were you shocked that Rey and Finn weren't in it?
Oh, no. I heard going in that this takes place like it ends 2 minutes before A New Hope begins. Yeah, and I don't know what the third one, episode 3, is called, so I assumed it takes place
about 19 years before.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So this is in between 3 and 4. So
yes,
kind of.
Star Wars 3.75.
Even more, 3.9.
So here's a question for you guys, because you guys are the 2 biggest Star Wars fans I know in this room. When you guys go back now, are you guys gonna, when you watch your Star Wars films and have like a Star Wars marathon, how are you going to watch it? Are you going to watch this one and then New Hope? Or are you going to watch 1, 2, 3 and then this one, then New Hope and keep going? Or how are you guys going to watch your marathons going forward?
Yeah, I'm going 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, Rogue One, Episode 4, 5, 6, 7, etc. Yeah. I always got to start with the prequels. Yeah.
I think unless you're new to the franchise, I would recommend in that case that you start at either Rogue One or even Episode 4, because that's going to be the interesting new debate, right? Where do you send someone new to the franchise? Because I always used to say Episode 4,
right?
But do you send them to Rogue One now?
I'd say Rogue One. In that case, you definitely send them over to Rogue One, because it just picks up right after. Or
but
right
then,
before.
Does that diminish that? Spoilers here for Rogue One. I'm sure everyone's seen it, but does that diminish that Vader scene because going forward, or even the scenes that you do see in A New Hope, because you've seen this unreal Vader scene, and then you see Vader kind of hobbling through a fight in A New Hope? Like, does that affect the viewership of A New Hope because of how big Rogue One is for some of those scenes?
I can see that.
If you can look past just what George Lucas could do back then for the fight choreography, I think it's okay, because you really get that good sense of Vader's pissed leading right into Episode 4. And we talked about this going into this movie for at least a year now. Why is Vader so mad? Right? Or we knew why he's mad, but we want to see if they'd capture that in Rogue One, and they do. Right? So for me, and after watching the movie the first time, I watched it the next day, Episode 4, and it's just it's perfect. It's perfect.
Well, as a Star Wars fan, I agree with you. It's never diminish anything, but just sending someone new to the franchise, the day we introduce our children to this franchise, how are we going to show this to them? So it's an interesting topic. I'd like to kind of
maybe they'll go back and digitally enhance Vader's lightsaber battle with Obi-Wan.
Maybe, because my thinking is, if you start at Episode 1, 2, 3, then from what I've heard, I haven't seen them, but they are the worst 3 of the franchise. So
I don't like using the word worst.
Okay.
here. We're not prequel haters here. We're not prequel haters.
I'm sorry.
Hey, 3's up there, man.
Troy's just like a lower 3.
Now that Rogue One is more or less complete here, that's 2016. We're here to look at 2017. And we're here to look at 2017 in collecting in TV, books, comics, and film. So we're going to start off here with our most anticipated 2017 collectibles, action figures, all those type of things. My collection this year, personally, is going to be heavily focused in on Star Wars. Surprise, surprise.
What? No. What?
2016 was a massive year for Star Wars collecting, and I think 2017 is going to be equally as big. My Marvel collecting, like I stated last week, had slightly diminished towards the end of the year, and unless Marvel comes out with a massive line of cinematic universe type legends, I'm going to be really pulling back on those, and I think I'm going to stick with that, hopefully. We'll see. I'm happy grabbing 1 or 2 legends per wave if they're the cinematic versions, but Rob over at Generation X-Wing pointed this out on Twitter the other day. How do you afford collecting? And I think it comes down to budgeting and really picking and choosing what you love. So what are you guys looking forward to in 2017 when it comes to collecting?
The Sandman wave, man. Marvel Legends. Nice. I love this wave. I actually just got the Green Goblin today.
Oh, nice. You found it.
I found it, yeah. Nice. And I got a couple other cool figures in that wave. So, yeah, the Marvel Legends, I'm liking. The DC animated figures, I got a big stack of those, but I want to get back into them and get, like, you know, more of the vehicles this time around as opposed to just the figures.
Is this the Batman animated series?
The Batman animated series,
nice.
Yeah, I think there's even a Batman Beyond coming out, too.
Really?
Yeah, they even did the animated Superman. It's a deluxe set.
Oh, really?
With him and Lois. So, yeah, I'm going to be on that for sure.
They're finally pumping out more than just Batman action figures at DC.
Well, that's what I always wondered, because the animated series for Superman is kind of underrated. It's a really good series, and the figures, you know, just go hand in hand with the Batman.
Or the Justice League.
Yeah. There you go. So I'm looking at that, and of course the Black Series, right?
Yeah.
Like, I love the Black Series. I'm really taking it easy and cutting back on the Marvel Selects, though, just because I haven't really seen anything good coming out since the Captain America Civil War, and Cap's the only figure I got out of that series.
Well, the Legends almost take the place of the Selects, I find. Like, I used to got by the Selects as well, and that was before I got into the Legend series. And the Legend series is much more expansive.
That's just it.
As well as the articulation is about the same. I think the Selects are slightly cheaper.
They are, but I find the details better.
Yeah.
I actually do prefer those figures more. It's just there's not enough. There's so much of the Legends going on, and you just get more for that series. So yeah, that's about it. I'm just keeping it down to the Black Series, of course. Can't wait to get my hands on like a Qui-Gon and the Chirrut. Oh man.
So the Black Series is going to be huge for me as well this year. So we've got Baze and Chirrut dropping at some point here. There's rumors that it's going to be delayed a bit, but we did have some announcement at last year's San Diego Comic-Con or Toy Fair. I can't remember quite which one, but we do have the Emperor's Royal Guard dropping, which looks really good. There's the Hera from Rebels, which is going to supplement the Sabine, the Kanan, and the Ahsoka really well.
Nice.
There's Lando, Qui-Gon, a Tusken Raider, and Jaina Solo. So that was the EU figure, the fans' choice from Hasbro's San Diego Comic-Con contest that they hold every year.
So that's the original like Solo twins, right?
Yeah, that's the female, yeah.
So they're doing her.
So they're doing EU stuff. That's the same as the Revan was fan choice as well, right? So they are continuing to dip into that EU to provide the fans with the figures that they want, which is really cool. And we're inevitably going to get a couple massive episode 8 waves as well,
right,
in the Black Series, looking at potentially 2 waves, another big Force Friday coming down the pipe, probably September, late September. So look out for that. That's one of my most anticipated days of the year.
Yes,
hopefully we get a little bit better.
Step it up towards us.
Yeah, we've had two years of slight disappointments. Not so much on the action figure finding end, but more on the event end. So we're looking forward to that. But it looks like it's going to be a big year in Star Wars. Yeah. And then you add in Lego and Funkos on top of that. Yeah. Those are my key focuses this year. I've kind of dropped out of the posters, and I know, Sunjay, you were getting big into the posters this year.
Yeah, so if you saw that tweet I threw up a couple of weeks ago, I have the whole DC Cinematic Universe, so that's Man of Steel, BVS, Suicide Squad, just picked up the new Wonder Woman, and I have the Nolan trilogy on the other side of my movie room, so I'm looking for room for the Justice League movie poster, because taking the MCU as an example, I always found the Avengers movie posters were the best, better than the individual ones. And so I'm really looking forward to see what DC does with Justice League and seeing what kind of cool movie poster we're going to get out of this. I was a little disappointed. I really liked the BVS one I got, but I thought they could have done better. I really liked the Wonder Woman one, so no disappointment there.
That's the best one I like.
Yeah, I like that one too. Man of Steel, they killed it on that one as well. Suicide Squad was something different. I like that. But yeah, I really want to see them step up to the plate and knock it out of the park. Just like the first Avengers one, where it has the whole team and it's, you can see like the Battle of New York in the background. I want something like that, just with Justice League.
Do you think they're going to have their masks off? Or like, are you a fan of like when these heroes have their masks off? Or do you like them when they have the masks on?
I prefer mask on. I understand mask off to sell the movie, I
Yeah.
guess. But that's not how they would be in the comics, and that's not how they would be, in the movies. So keep the mask on.
Yeah.
You always got to have Downey's face out there.
Yeah.
Right?
Every
Always.
single Iron Man poster, Avengers poster, his face is out. So you got to have it out.
Yeah.
One thing I forgot to mention about Star Wars collecting here is the 5 POA figures. I'm still deep into these. I'm still looking for a way. I was talking to a few guys on Twitter earlier about displaying these, and there's some suggestions from guys over at Yakface and a few other places about how to display these, kind of rotating out your different collections so that you don't have a ton of carded figures hanging there. It's just kind of keeping a consistent flow of new figures moving in and out of your collection. So I thought that was a pretty cool idea. But the big one for me this year is the Thrawn. The Rebels Thrawn figures dropping in the 3 3/4 inch 5 POA.
What's the Rebels one?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I guess that makes sense. Yeah.
So
Nice.
I'm really looking forward to that figure. That's coming soon. That's a wave 3, so that should be the next wave that drops here in 2017.
Wicked.
So that's gonna be a big one.
Oh man, we need Thrawn in the 6 inch.
Yeah. And before we talk about some movies here and some TV shows, I know Sunjay, you're a big steelbook collector, and that's become a huge
Thanks
focus.
to you jerk.
Yeah, I've got you both.
Before we started this podcast, Tim's like, you got to get into steelbook collecting. I'm like, no, because once I get one, I'll get them all. And of course, it happened to be Star Wars. I got the one Star Wars steelbook, and after that, I've been hooked. So thanks a lot, Tim.
You do have quite a collection now, though.
Yeah, it's picking up. I think I'm around 50, 60. So
Wow.
yeah.
And the Doctor Strange, they just dropped the image today, which you called.
Yeah, I called it. It's going to be the book of... I don't know.
Vishanti?
Yeah.
No, is it the Vishanti? I don't know if it's in that.
The book of Ashanti, the singer. Yeah, so it's going to be the book. I mean, Marvel's been doing the objects theme, so they had the tape player or the cassette from Guardians,
Right.
and they had the disc from Ant-Man. Civil War, they switched it up, which I'm glad, because it was the awesome Cap and Iron Man split down the middle. And now this, we're going to the book. So yeah, no, that looks cool. I'm looking forward to see what Wonder Woman steelbook for that one. Looking forward to see Rogue One with steelbook. Who are they going to put on the cover?
Jin.
Yeah,
You
it's
think
going to be the
Jin?
whole crew, I think. It's going to be
Jin,
that main movie poster they had, would be my guess.
A
Slightly
K2SO would
lost.
be awesome though.
Yeah. Star Wars has a tendency to do a lot of variant covers
Okay.
when it comes to these
Yeah.
things. So you may get the front similar to The Force Awakens, which is more of a generic front, and on the back you have like the K2 version or K2SO version and the Jin version and whatever.
Oh, yeah.
The Vader version.
Yeah, because Star Wars normally just has the one figure on the front. If you go back, Force Awakens was Kylo Ren. Before that, I think, was Darth Vader, Yoda.
There's a Stormtrooper, I think.
Stormtrooper,
yeah.
yeah.
Is it Emperor?
Darth Maul.
Yeah, there's an Emperor
There's
in there
Emperor,
somewhere too.
yeah.
Yes, there is.
Yeah.
As long as you ask no follow-up questions, then yes.
So collecting looks to be a very exciting year. We all have kind of our niches here, and it looks like each individual franchise here is going to fill that to the breaking point almost, especially Star Wars. So I'm really looking forward to collecting here and filling up this room a bit more. It's not full enough yet. I feel like I need a ton more shelves.
Yeah.
But
I can't wait to see the Lego display though. Once you get that going on, with the Lego display on the walls.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's gonna be awesome.
It's coming. I've done some recent Lego building here, and I'd
Nice.
highly recommend going and grabbing that Kylo shuttle. I did the TIE Striker over the holidays too.
Yeah.
Great builds. I'm looking forward to more Lego in 2017 here too.
Awesome.
Nice.
So a big component of this show has always been comic books, and like we said, one of our nerdier resolutions was to get back into comics. I went and dropped like $150 at the comic book shop the other day.
Holy smokes.
Why I hadn't been to the comic book shop in like 2 months.
Yeah.
I'm just so far behind. Since we moved, I don't have that accessibility of just
yeah.
dropping by the comic book shop on the way home. So I do have to make a separate trip for it now. And because I wasn't fully enthralled with what Marvel has been doing lately, I just haven't made the effort to get there. But I did go to the comic book shop. I grabbed Civil War. I got up to date on Star Wars and all that, and that's part of a big resolution for me this year is to maintain my consistency with comic book reading and catch up on everything that I've missed. But then I got looking at the solicitations for Marvel going into January, February, and March. And this year looks like a really interesting year. We're coming off the back end here of Civil War 2, which we had the opportunity, or I had the opportunity to finish here. So I'm not going to spoil anything because the guys haven't finished reading it here. And eventually we will talk about it a bit more. But it was a slight disappointment, if not a total disappointment, coming at the back end of it. Yeah, it was just, I felt like there's a lot of build-up to something, and I have a feeling that because it was delayed, the delays were caused by rewrites of what the original story was supposed to be and changing things and tweaking who was dead and who wasn't dead and the overall story. Because coming out of it, there seems to be some inferences in the books that you do get following on for that were dropping before this actually ended of what the outcome was going to be. And then they've kind of skewed that a bit to save some stuff. Like, it's just really strange. It seemed like they're going down a path and really didn't commit to anything. There's a lot of cool visuals and a lot of cool cliffhangers, but they never really materialized into much, and they just kind of just ended it. And
It's
so
unfortunate. Yeah.
Disappointing.
a little bit disappointing here. That's one of the first events that I haven't been enthralled with. Like, I think there's some really cool ideas in there, and they just didn't really follow through with them, which is a bit disappointing. So I'm looking forward to going into 2017 with Marvel Comics and looking at something different. And the first event that they have here dropping in January is this Monsters Unleashed event. So very different. Going back and revisiting some of these monster tales pre-Stan Lee, pre-Ditko era of Marvel Comics into this monster comics. But what's happening is these monsters are invading the Marvel comic book universe. And it's a team up of every single Avenger, Guardian, Champion, Defender.
A lot of crossovers.
So lots and lots of crossovers. They're going to be tagged with this .mu1 or whatever, similar to how they did Age of Ultron with the AU. And so they're going to be tie-ins, but they're going to be kind of slightly separate stories. So it's an interesting take on a much larger event, especially with the fact that we've just spun out of Civil War 2 and we're jumping directly into another event. I'm starting to feel that fatigue that I said I would never feel when it comes to events. So I'm liking what they're doing with the Steve Rogers stuff. Really well done. It's a unique take on the character, so I'd recommend getting into that book. But a lot of my comic book reading, I think, in 2017 is really going to be focused in on Star Wars.
Come to the dark side, Tim. Come to DC. Come to DC.
I think this is the first time I've ever expressed any sort of doubt in Marvel Comics on this podcast.
That's how it happens, and then he'll pick up a Batman issue and he'll be like, hey, this is pretty good.
He tried, though.
I did try.
If at first you don't succeed, dust yourself off and try again, Tim.
I don't know, man. I don't think you ever see me going that deep. I do play up to this fanboy divide of DC Marvel a lot here on the podcast, but I have tried DC stuff. I do enjoy some of it, and maybe I will get into it. But I like some of the books with the books. We talked about this last week, so I'm not going to get too far into it here. But one interesting thing with the Star Wars books, and I didn't realize this, is that the Yoda story that dropped last week, in issue 26 of Star Wars is actually a 4-issue arc of a Yoda story. So this goes right through to issue 29, which takes us through to March 2017 with the Star Wars books. And I haven't read that book yet, but I'm interested to see. It's kind of a prelude to Yoda's story, which is interesting.
The furthest we've gone back so far in canon, right?
Exactly. So it's pre-Phantom Menace. And this is kind of maybe sitting in the same era as the Darth Maul comic that's dropping in February, which is another big one on my radar here. Going forward. So I'm really looking forward to what Star Wars is pumping out in the Marvel land, and I'm hoping that once March comes, because that seems to be the big turnover date in Marvel right now, is that that's the end of Inhumans versus X-Men. We're getting a lot of new series starting. The Clone Conspiracy ends then. I'm looking forward to Marvel still, and I'm hoping that they plow through this first weird event and get through the other side and just get some continuity amongst their books and just tell a larger story within a series. That's all I'm hoping for this year in comics.
I'm getting a little bit of Marvel event fatigue, especially when it comes to like the big events. I might be biased. I like the Spider-Man events. I don't really mind them so much. You're telling me great things happening in Cap, but when it comes to these big crossovers and reading Marvel comics now since 2009 around, I'm pretty fatigued out with these events. So I wish they would just kind of just give us some good stories and really follow through with what they're going to lead up to, right? Because I feel like they get so high, and then when it rolls out into like their volumes, you could say now, they're just kind of flat, and you're just waiting, and then they give you something big again, and they restart, and it's just this pattern, and it's just ongoing, and it's over and over again.
We look at the great example of the Avengers Hickman run from a couple years ago. It was almost 50 issues long. It did have that Infinity War crossover event within it, but it builds into it so well. That's one of my favorite runs of comic books in the last 5 years.
That was awesome.
It was so well done.
And it felt planned out, like they knew what they're doing from start to finish.
Exactly. And that bled into the Time Runs Out and Secret Wars edition, which I think was really well executed. Coming out the other side, not so much. But that whole run, that was like a year and a half, 2 years of Avengers comics. That was so good. They just need more of that continuity. Like that book, I think, got up to 44 or 45 issues or something like that. They just need more of that in a whole narrative across that one comic book that started and ended with the concept, right? And that's what Marvel needs more of now. It's none of this stop, start.
Exactly, and they can do it. I mean, they do Star Wars all the time. They're doing it right now in these Star Wars books and the shows and the comics. So I don't know why they're not doing that in the Marvel properties, right?
Do you think Marvel's going to reboot or renumber this year?
For sure.
Times. Yeah.
For sure.
That's so disappointing.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. You know, it's nice in your collection, as you said, with Hickman's run. You got up to issue 50. You know, when is the next Marvel series going to get up to 50?
Never.
No, it sucks. You know, I had Spider-Man up to 700 issues.
Yeah.
And then they've restarted it since after Superior about 3 times.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not going to go back because DC did that with Action and Detective. But
I
then
love
they
that.
went back.
They will
and
go back.
renumbered it.
I guarantee they'll go back.
Once it gets close to
800,
800, yeah.
I hope so. Yeah.
So, I know we've been hitting on Marvel a lot last couple episodes. So, Sunjay, tell me a bit about DC. Get me encouraged here to maybe revisit some of the Rebirth stuff.
Life's pretty good at DC. I've been really loving it, to be honest with you. I mean, we got, of course, with the Suicide Squad movie coming out, Justice League versus Suicide Squad. And on paper, it sounds like a mismatch, but they actually pit it together pretty well. How it turns out, and of course, Suicide Squad, you know, always the bad guys always, you know, come out on top at first, but they do it organically and it makes sense. And they're 2 issues in, so I'm looking forward to see how that turns out. And then Jeff Johns sent out a tweet. I don't know if you guys caught this, but he sent out a tweet saying he's going back to writing comics, and the image he had attached was Dr. Manhattan from Watchmen.
Oh, maybe because him and Ben Affleck are starting to bump heads, and Ben Affleck's about to walk off Batman there.
So is he relinquishing his role in the DC cinematic universe?
No. He's just adding this. He's coming back. What capacity?
He's not busy enough.
Yeah.
Well, he figures that the foundation for that universe
stable.
is good.
It's stable. It's on solid ground.
Oh yeah.
$1.5 billion last year, guys.
Yeah.
They're making houses of $20 bills. That's how much money they made.
I'm curious to know with this Justice League versus Suicide Squad, is it the team from Suicide Squad similar to the movie, or is
pretty
it
much identical? You even have Enchantress, who's a new member who wasn't in the comic before, but they added Killer Frost, who's the only new member.
Killer Frost?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So Killer Croc's in there, El Diablo, cool. Harley Quinn. Who else was in the movie? Rick Flag, even.
How about Slipknot? Is it Slipknot?
No, Slipknot's not in it.
Didn't he die in the first one?
He did, yeah.
The movie?
Who saw that coming?
Everyone.
Not him.
True.
Not the actor. They're like, yeah, you're going to be in this big blockbuster. He's like, great, how long?
Sign here.
2 minutes.
I'm not on any of the promo art.
Don't worry about it. We'll add you later.
Photoshop.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm looking forward to see how the Watchmen connects with the larger DC universe. And DC kind of listened to the fans. People just said, we want to hear or we want to read fun stories again.
Yeah.
We don't want so much, continuity, overlap, and just so much confusion. So they kind of simplified things. Everything started again. They rebooted again. I mean, it's only the 3rd time in 75 years, so
but
they
it's
get
working.
past. Yeah,
I think the motto is creativity over continuity.
Yeah.
Right now over at DC, and I'm reading Superman right now, and I'm loving it. It's just fun stories. Superman likes being Superman, but he's experienced. He knows what he's doing. There's some good stuff going on over in DC right now.
I really like that. And then lastly, the one event comic I'm really looking forward to: Green Lantern versus Planet of the Apes.
Oh,
yeah. So we'll see how that one turns out. I'm gonna skip the Justice League versus
Power Rangers.
Power Rangers.
Yeah. You don't want that? There's the animated Batman right now with Turtles as well.
Oh, really? The animated one?
So last year they did Batman with the Ninja Turtles, but this year it's different. It's like the animated Batman that we all know with the animated Ninja Turtles.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because the Batman versus Ninja Turtles was actually a really good crossover.
Yeah, Shredder versus Batman. Awesome.
You had me at Batman. It could be Batman versus Batman and I still read it.
Quickly sticking here with books as we wrap up our comic book conversation here. Audiobooks. Troy and I were big Star Wars audiobook listeners. What are you looking forward to this year? So we've got Empire's End, Thrawn, and Basinshire announced for sure. And we're looking at probably some sort of Episode 8 prelude build-in book of some sort.
Yeah. Top of my list for sure is Thrawn.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thrawn, written by Timothy Zahn. Man, what else could I ask for? Like, this is going to be incredible. I think over at that house, it's the best guys is Jay Lucino and Timothy Zahn. And I do like Paul S. Kemp, too, who did Lords of the Sith.
Claudia Gray.
And Claudia Gray, of course. She's
rattling off all the authors.
2 for 2 right now.
Shades of Grey?
She's the best right now. She's incredible. And also, Basinshire. I definitely can't wait for that. I'm probably going to stay away from the Aftermath. That's your thing, and I kind of get the story from you.
Yeah, it's difficult. I had a really hard time getting through the last book, Lifetime. I don't know what it is about the Aftermath books that I struggle so much with. Like getting into Catalyst, Ahsoka, Bloodlines, all these, I just chewed through those. This one, it just takes me multiple repeat listenings to actually get through this. Like I have to revisit it like 2 weeks later and I have to rewind a whole bunch and listen to it again. I don't know why I can't. I don't know if it's the characters or if we're dealing with a timeline where I feel we should be getting more Luke, Leia Han stories like we did with the original EU, and I don't know if that's affected me a bit there.
That's right.
So that's probably, my least anticipated is Empire's End, but there is some revelations about Jakku coming out in those books, so
that's what I like.
It may have much larger implications for the Force Awakens era in this book, as opposed to what we're getting right now, which is some loose ties. There's a lot of kind of independent stories. There's a lot of interludes in these books too that are slightly confusing. So telling a lot about what's going on in the universe post the fall of the Empire, and more or less kind of the building of what becomes the eventual First Order. There's a lot going on there, and I appreciate what it's doing for the universe, but it's just not what the original Timothy Zahn books were, not the original Thrawn. And so I don't know if I'm still comparing that a bit, and I just don't have that same connection to the characters. But I just agree with you. Baze and Shirt's going to be great. Thrawn's going to be awesome, and I'm hoping we get another Catalyst type book, or even a Bloodlines type book, where it describes a little bit more what happened in that between Force Awakens and Bloodlines, that 6-year gap that we have, and describing a bit more, so diving a bit deeper into the characters that we are going to see in episode 8. So I think look out for that one as well.
I hope so. Celebration, maybe Claudia Gray will announce that she's writing a third book for Star Wars, which would just be fantastic.
Quickly before we get into counting down our top 10 most anticipated films for 2017, TV is going to have another big year here, and particularly from the Netflix end. This is where we're going to be concentrating a lot of my TV watching outside of kind of the normal sitcoms, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and that type of shows. But we have Iron Fist dropping this March, which is going to be a great follow-up to Luke Cage. Eventually, The Defenders is dropping in 2017, probably in the September timeframe. So this is going to be the big team-up between our Netflix heroes, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Daredevil, and Iron Fist. So that's going to be really cool. The Punisher series is also dropping this year. So the first time Netflix is going to drop 3 Marvel Cinematic Universe shows within the same year. So it's going to be a ton of fun. And Stranger Things, season 2.
Don't spoil. I have to see the last episode.
Oh man, get into it.
I've seen every episode except for the last one, so no spoilers.
That's huge. This is going to be a good year for TV. I mean, I'm still picking up with Flash. Flash has gotten better. Arrow's gotten better, but I'm probably going to stay away from Arrow. Game of Thrones, man. Game of Thrones is going to be great. Winter's coming.
When is it summer there, man? Like, give him a break.
And actually, Sunjay, your cousin Baron, has convinced me to get into Westworld. So, he's been talking me into that. So I'm probably going to pick up that show and continue with Rebels, obviously. And Stranger Things, I can't wait. Iron Fist, though, is just going to be so good, right? So good. And then we're kind of getting a double dose of the Defenders in a way, because we get Defenders, the TV show, but with Thor Ragnarok, we now know we have Hulk, obviously, but we also have Doctor Strange, which is kind of the original Defenders team. All we're missing is Namor. So we're kind of getting 2 Defenders going on for 2017. It's crazy good stuff.
And we also got the Inhumans show dropping on ABC with that big event in the IMAX screening as well.
Might change the world.
So it's going to be a lot of focus in on comic book TV shows, I think, at least for myself in 2017. That's what I'm anticipating the most. You even got Legion, the TV show, that's dropping.
That's right, FX, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll have to check that out.
So that'll be interesting. So they seem to be building these really large TV universes around comic book movies, around comic book lore and all that. So really excited about 2017 in TV watching.
For sure.
But it pales in comparison to the films that we're getting this year. 2017 is going to be another spectacular year in film, I think.
Good choice of words.
For yes.
Oh, I see what you did there.
For nerd, because we have 7 live-action comic book movies dropping, a Star Wars saga film, entries into the Apes, Fast and Furious, Transformers, Pirates, and Kong franchises, remakes of Power Rangers and Jumanji, the return of Christopher Nolan with Dunkirk, revisiting of one of the most celebrated sci-fi franchises of all time, or movies of all time, in Blade Runner 2049, as well as exciting new entry of The Dark Tower with Idris Elba.
Yes.
And
all right.
Yeah, and King Arthur. So there's a ton of movies dropping out there.
Insane amount.
It's so packed this year.
Do you think it's overpacked? Like, in my opinion, I think we're at like a pivot. We'll either continue to get great superhero and comic book movies, or, this could be the year that we start to see the decline, sort of like the Western, how that was big in like the 40s, 50s, and now there's like one Western a year, if that. The thing is, it's just so crowded. I mean, take Spider-Man. I mean, his new movie comes out on my 30th birthday. Age, I just gave you my age right there.
So know what we're doing for your birthday.
Yeah, exactly. Well, the day before. So you're thinking, okay, Spider-Man film, $1 billion worldwide easily, right? You think. But 2 weeks before that, you get Transformers coming out, another $1 billion franchise. Then you got Despicable Me, 1 week before Spider-Man comes out, Despicable Me 3. Then after that, you got Planet of the Apes a week after Spider-Man.
Wow.
And then 2 weeks after Spider-Man, you get Christopher Nolan's Dunkirk. How is it all going to fit together? I don't know. I'm kind of concerned.
It's going to be opening weekend sales. It's not going to be the turnout that we've been having for the last couple of years. It's all going to be the opening weekend. And then after that, it's going to be Transformers' turn, and then Dunkirk and Spider-Man and what have you.
Yeah. Heavily front-loaded films when it comes to the money up front. Like, like that's all it's going to be. Like, you're going to get Spider-Man doing maybe a week at number one.
Yeah.
But it can continue, I think, to have good sales and maybe a longevity that isn't as long as it would have been if they dropped it in February.
That's right.
So I think, again, we've talked about this lots before about stretching out the movie season. This idea of blockbusters in the summer isn't going to be a thing going in the future.
You can't. It's just too many movies, and they're just too expensive. Spider-Man's probably going to cost $200 million to make.
The last one did. The last one cost $200 million.
Yeah.
Probably because you got Robert Downey Jr. this time around, and you got
$50 million for him,
right, and then you got Michael Keaton as well, right? It's a star-studded cast, so yeah, they got the work cut out for them.
Yeah, this is definitely the year to watch as far as how that develops, as far as maneuvering your films to get that 1 or 2 weekends. Like, this is where you're seeing Disney pivoting into December with their Star Wars franchise and leaving the Marvel tentpole movie at the start of May. That's something that they've established themselves in. They pushed away Batman vs Superman last year. They've slotted in Guardians this year, moving it up from, I think, a July or an August release like it was the original. So they really captured that 1st of May, and that was a move that they made originally to get in front of the summer blockbuster season. And now that whole month is packed full of movies, and we're seeing movies step into April, and even Deadpool last year into February.
Right?
Yeah.
And you're going to see Logan here try to take advantage of that as well, dropping this March. So I think you're right, Sunjay. I think it's a year to watch as far as how these movies do, and then how it probably spreads out more in 2018 and going forward. It's no longer about having that July, because I even find for myself it's harder to make time in July for me to go watch movies than it is in March, April, May, right? Because you're in the middle of your holiday season, your summer holiday season, and I just found that it's more difficult. I'm traveling lots, and so I don't have that same opportunity to go see movies. I'm going to make the time to go see Spider-Man, obviously,
for sure.
Planet of the Apes.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'd like to see them spread out more.
Yeah, no, I agree. And, Hollywood moves quick. Look at Amazing Spider-Man. That movie was supposed to launch a franchise, Amazing Spider-Man 2, and, it still did, $700 million, but it didn't meet expectations. So they canceled that entire film universe. So, if films, disappoint in 2017, 2018, 2019 could look vastly different than it does today. I mean, we have all these, projected movies, and, they all sound good in theory, but will we get to all of them? Well, I'm not so confident.
Yeah, because I think we would have had Fantastic Four coming up pretty soon, and we would have already had Amazing Spider-Man 3 on Blu-ray by now, which is crazy to think. Right.
Yeah, I mean, we all wanted to see Fantastic Four sequel, right, guys?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
I want to see Fantastic Four. Phase 4.
Phase 4, right? Hands down. Yeah.
All right, guys, let's get into this. We're going to count down our top 10 most anticipated movies, films for 2017. And we're going to start from number 10. I'm going to work our way down. I'm going to throw it to Troy here to toss out number 10 on his list. It's going to be interesting to see these lists because I have a feeling they're going to be vastly different, particularly at the bottom here.
You think so? I think they're going to be exactly the same. We all want to see monster trucks, right, guys?
Oh, God.
So that movie hasn't even come out yet, and the studio has already written down a $100 million loss.
Wow, no screenings, I'm sure, for that one.
Yeah. If that makes 10% on Rotten Tomatoes, I'll be surprised.
Yeah.
If that makes 10% on Rotten Tomatoes, I'll go see it in theaters.
Wow.
How about that? I'll throw it down.
Yeah, no, start with my number 10, man, The Dark Tower.
Oh.
I really want to see what this is about. Cool cast. You got Idris Elba and you got Matthew McConaughey. I'm not familiar with the books, but I do hear you kind of have to read at least the first 2 to get involved with this book. So I am going to pick up those actually on Audible as well. So I'm looking forward to that one.
So is this Stephen King?
Stephen King's novel. Yeah.
Okay,
I don't know who's directing. Nikolai something another. I forgot his...
Oh, is it the guy who did Drive?
If it is, then I'm even more sold.
Yeah. And is this horror or...
No, it's more. I don't want to say fantasy, but I think it's kind of
sci-fi. I don't know, really, not really sci-fi.
Yeah, kind of suspenseful. I don't really know.
Okay, because typically I find Stephen King as horror films. There are exceptions. They don't typically translate well into the big screen.
Right.
His other work, like Stand By Me, Shawshank Redemption, Green Mile,
favorite movie.
They all kill it.
Yeah.
So, if this isn't horror, then that makes me more excited to see it.
It's definitely not horror. No.
Yeah, it's
I
definitely
think this was supposed to be something much larger. I think Ron Howard was originally slated to direct this, and I think it was supposed to have like a TV show that built into a movie, or vice versa, because of the
scale of the movie,
the scale of the books and all that. And I think that they've gone away from that and just centered in on a movie, because it did at one point, I think, had like Matthew McConaughey attached to it.
Yeah, I think he still is. I think it's him and Idris.
Okay, cool.
Matthew McConaughey is playing actually the protagonist, which is going to be really cool.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So that one actually makes my honorable mention. That's one I think is going to sit there as a dark horse for me.
Yeah.
I'm not super pumped about it because I don't really know much about Dark Tower, and I've heard lots of good things about it. But I think that's going to be a movie that I'm going to wait and see. If it does get the good reviews, I'll probably force myself into the theater. Nice. And at the end of the day, we'll see.
Cool. Yeah, my wife's really excited about this, so I'll probably see it. But for me, it's just an honorable mention.
Yeah.
It's interesting you bring up the TV series, because if you've seen the Stephen King movie It, which I know you guys aren't really horror fans, so I'm going to say no, you haven't. That was originally released as a TV series, and then they collected it all into like a 3-hour movie or something.
Oh, cool. Wow.
Yeah, so.
Sunjay, you're number 10.
My number 10. All right. From the MCU, Thor Ragnarok.
Ooh.
Yeah, I have it down number 10 just because the Thor movies, to me, I think Thor has the weakest trilogy of the solo Avenger films. I mean, Iron Man has been great. Captain America has been great. But I just think Thor, has just been average. The first one was okay. I rewatched it recently and I did enjoy it. The second one, I absolutely think it's really bad. But I think they're adding a lot. I mean, you got Hulk, you got Doctor Strange, and you got this whole Loki, Odin, Valkyrie, Hela. Like, I just don't know how long this movie's going to be, and if it's just trying to pump too much in too soon. I don't know. I'm still excited to see it. I'm still going to see it, but I just have some reservations about it, but I'm still super excited to see it, even though I don't sound like it.
It's funny. Yeah, I have that as my number 6. Okay. And I kind of feel where you're coming from with your background of Thor, because, to be honest, I'm one of the people that actually didn't like Thor 1 that much. I actually liked Thor 2. If you could just take out the fact that comedic relief was horrible, just take her out of that movie. And actually, I really liked Thor 2 for the fight scenes and the story elements, and the villain was kind of weak too. Actually, in Thor 2,
he could have been. He could have been better.
Yeah.
We're going to get into all of that in our retrospective.
That's right.
Stay
tuned.
Yeah. So stay tuned for that. Malekith.
Malekith, yeah. But Thor 3, though, man, I think that's going to be pretty cool. We've got Planet Hulk. They're going to cover that. But you're right, they are covering a lot in this movie. But I think watching Civil War and watching Winter Soldier and Avengers 1, they're getting a real good grasp of covering big stories and putting like 3 or 4 stories in one movie. So I got a lot of faith in Thor 3.
And I have even more faith because that's my number 3.
Nice. Wow.
Okay.
I'm immensely interested by this movie. I think it's got a lot of elements in there that could make it a very successful movie, a very good movie. I think they're taking the criticism that they've seen in the Thor movies, and I think they recognize that this is the weakest of the franchises they have in the MCU. Yeah. That's why we're getting Hulk. That's why we're getting Doctor Strange. Yeah. And that's why we're getting kind of a wild-looking movie. And we have this director, Taika.
Yeah.
Looks really cool, a bit wild-eyed.
Yeah.
And we saw some cool set videos. And so there's a lot of elements here that I'm really excited about. And I'm just really curious of what they're going to do with this franchise. At the same time, trying to incorporate the Ragnarok storyline. Yeah. So there's a lot there. I agree with you guys. It does seem very ambitious. Yeah. But at the same time, I think it could be a really exciting movie. Kevin Feige has come out and stated that this is going to be Thor's Winter Soldier.
Wow.
For the effects on the MCU, for the effects on the Thor franchise.
Yeah.
So for me, that sits at number 3 most anticipated film for 2017.
So this will be the Jose Batista of the MCU. And by that, I mean it'll either be a home run or a strikeout.
I think you're right, though, because, they are listening to the fans, because they cut out Natalie Portman and they cut out the
Darcy.
So I don't think the professor's even in there, even though he wasn't that bad.
Yeah, he kind of went bonkers in the last one with the pants thing and all that.
Yeah, super weird.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's hard. I mean, sometimes if you listen to fans, what is the old adage in sports? If you listen to fans, then you'll become one. So it's hard. Sometimes you can't please everyone. So if you start listening to some people, then you won't please other people. So
I think in this case, though, you kind of struck out twice already. Yeah. So I think now you kind of have to DC.
Well, they're just taking the weakest point, right, of the Thor franchise and Natalie Portman and that.
Yeah.
So I think that's a good way to go.
Yeah. So no, I'm excited for it. I mean, I do have it on my list, but a little bit less so than you guys.
Yep.
Interesting. So the diversion already has occurred.
Yeah, so we started. Yeah.
My number 10, Kingsman: The Golden Circle.
Cool.
Okay, nice.
So I'm liked the last film. I'm not a huge fan of it. There seems to be a lot of people, yourself included, Troy, that really enjoyed that first entry into this franchise. But I'm curious about this. I liked, when I went back and revisited this, I really enjoyed the film. And it's something I'm looking forward to going down the road. The addition of Channing Tatum to the cast.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a lot of fun. And we got returning cast, which looks really cool.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about this film. So that's why it sits at number 10 for me.
All right, I have it at number 8. This is a film that I missed in theaters, but it was a blind buy on Boxing Day. And as you said, it's just kind of pleasantly surprised me. And, they are adding Sir Elton John as well. So that's another great casting decision. I'm looking forward to this one.
Yeah, I have it as my number 7. I'm looking forward to this one. I was blown away by part 1, actually, because when I saw the trailer in theaters, I was like, this looks stupid.
Yeah.
Like, I thought it looked so bad. And Samuel Jackson with that lisp and his accent. And then when I saw it, I was like, whoa, this is actually one of the best villains I've seen on TV or on the big screen in a while. Because he actually had like a motive of what he's trying to do. Actually, kind of made sense. It was a little extreme, but kind of made sense. And man, that church scene when...
So good.
So good, right? Yeah. So what more can I say? And Matthew Vaughn's returning. I think he's one of the best directors out there. Yeah. Highly underrated. He's great stuff. So he's returning. I'm sold. Number 7 for me.
Isn't this based on a Marvel comic book?
Graphic novel. Guy that did Civil War. How do I forget his name?
Mark Miller.
Mark Miller. Yeah. And also Old Man Logan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he made this book there. So
Miller
Mark Millar.
Miller.
Mark Millar.
I was called Miller.
Yeah.
Miller.
Mark Millar. Yeah.
Cool. So it looks like that's one on all 3 of our lists.
Yeah. I'm gonna drop a bomb right here. Number 9, Wonder Woman.
Okay. I see
dropped.
how you do. I'm just gonna go move Guardians down 1 or 2 slots then.
This was not because I'm a DC hater or a universe hater. I just still don't have the confidence in this film that it's going to produce something that I'm going to be happy with. I like Gal Gadot. I think she was okay in Batman vs Superman.
Okay, she was awesome.
I know I've said that she's good in the past. Maybe she was one of the highlights of that film. I don't really know. But when I've gone back and revisited it the one time I did, I was kind of like, the character, it doesn't really do much for me. I would have preferred her maybe introduced in her own solo movie before going into Batman vs Superman. I don't really know. This universe, I'm still stuck on it. I'm still not confident in it. But this could be the turnaround point for me. So if this movie does really well, I could see Justice League bumping up a little bit higher on my list here. But for me right now, this sits at number 9. I'm going to wait and see on this one. That's why it sits so low. And because I'm not excited about the universe, that's again why this sits pretty low on my list.
No, fair enough. Troy, where does
this is number 5 for me, and I have a lot riding on this movie because this is kind of the make or break for me. If this movie bombs, I'm checked out. Like I can't take any more of this beating from DC because I back up their comics. I can't back up the movies any longer if this movie sucks. So yeah, it's number 5 for me. I like what Gal Gadot did. I love her theme song. It grew on me.
I hate it.
Yeah,
it's
the first time I left the movie theater, I was like, that song's horrible. The second time I watched it, I was like, I love this song. Yeah. So I thought she was great in BVS for the lines that she had. They didn't really give her much to work with, but I thought she was cool. And I can't wait to see what they do. I like the trailers. I love the posters. I like all the marketing so far that's gone into this movie. I like the era they're capturing. And I like that this movie looks the most different than any other DC movie that we've got so far, besides Suicide Squad. But this looks like it's in the right direction.
I'll give you that. Yeah. I hate that. What we saw with Rogue One, the Wonder Woman trailer is attached to it. When that theme song came on, I almost got up and walked out.
You would never walk away from Rogue One.
I never would. You called me on my bluff there. But I hate that electric guitar theme song.
That's hilarious.
Yo, we should play that when Tim enters now into the room or something. It's awesome. I listened to it before I go to the gym or something.
Did Hans Zimmerman?
I think Hans Zimmer or Junkie XL.
Oh,
one of the two did it. Yeah,
okay. Because I know Hans Zimmer does a lot of DC stuff.
Yeah, I think he might have retired. So I think BVS was his last one, but I could be mistaken.
Movie put him in retirement, eh?
Go out on top. I have Wonder Woman number 2 for me. A lot of writing on this film for myself as well. Not so much if it'll be good or not. I've enjoyed the previous 3 DC entries. But I just want to, it'd be nice if the critics and the rest of the fandom could get behind it. Tim, I got to ask you, so what does this film have to do for you to jump on the DC bandwagon and be like, wow, they got it back? Like, DC is like, okay, I'm confident now in their universe.
I need to see a standalone story that ties into a universe. Mm-hmm. I still haven't got that yet. I want to see a good character. I want to see good writing. I want to see good editing.
Yeah.
I feel like I haven't gotten any of that in the film. I don't want to be sitting in the film and squirming around being like, oh my God, what are they doing here? What are they doing here? There's a very straightforward explanation for this instead of going around these curves and bends and trying to do all this universe building. I think this movie out of any of them has the best opportunity to not suffer from universe building. I think that they've gotten off to too quick of a start. They've kind of jumped in front and said, we need a universe established, and we're going to do all of that in Batman vs. Superman. I'm not going to talk about this, but...
Until we do the DCU revision.
Yeah, retrospective.
Yeah.
I just need to go into it and enjoy the film that's in front of me. I will walk into this with really low expectations, but I will give it a chance. I will give it a chance in theater because I think it will benefit from a big screen viewing, but I need something that engages me. I haven't been engaged. Like Suicide Squad, halfway in, I was like, I'm checked out of this movie. This is dumb.
Yeah.
But Wonder Woman, I think, like, it's low on my list because I'm walking in with those expectations. But at the same time, I think it does have the potential to blow me away at the same time, in the sense that it could just be a good movie. And the fact that we do have a strong female character in the lead here, that could also benefit the movie a lot. But at the same time, I'm not hanging my hat on all of that. Like this has to do the same that it's doing for Troy. If this doesn't do well, you know, this universe is never going to hear the end of it.
Yeah, if this doesn't do well, kiss Justice League goodbye, kiss the rest of the DCU goodbye. But I have confidence in Patty Jenkins, Gal Gadot. You know, it looks like a great story. I wasn't a big Wonder Woman fan 10 years ago, and then the New 52 dropped, and I didn't even pick up the Wonder Woman comic until like 3 months in, and I've heard nothing but good things about it, and everyone said, you know, you got to pick up Wonder Woman, you got to pick up Wonder Woman. So I did, and I instantly fell in love with the character and fell in love with the comics, and I've been avid reader of hers ever since. It's probably like the first book I read when you get, you know, your new stack, and you're like, which one am I going to read first? Right. Wonder Woman for me always is first, just thanks to the great Brian Azzarello run.
Yeah.
The one thing I'm a little bit concerned is if they're going to do the contest to see, you know, how she gets...
You're really hung up on this contest.
Well, it is very important. It's like having Batman not witness his parents die in front of him, or Superman going to Earth from Krypton as a teenager. It's like very vital to the character of Wonder Woman that, you know, she wins, she's the best Amazon, she proves it, and then her mother says, okay, you can go to man's world. To me, it's very important. It's like, it's iconic. You gotta have it. If they don't have it, it'll be a huge misstep, and I'll be very disappointed. So I'm really hoping they have it.
She looks like she's sneaking off to man's world.
I know.
For sure.
Yeah.
Troy, what do you got to do number 9?
Number 9, I have Alien Covenant, which the trailer just came out this week, actually.
Yeah.
And man, I'm excited for this one. I know a lot of people didn't really receive Prometheus that well. I actually liked it, being how I'm not really big into the Alien universe. So my first viewing of Prometheus, I loved it. And now, knowing that Ridley Scott's coming back to direct this film, which takes place after, so it's a sequel to Prometheus, saw the trailer, my mind was blown right off the bat. This has elements of horror, which Sunjay here loves. Still has sci-fi. Michael Fassbender is one of the best guys in the business. Visually looks stunning. I cannot wait for this movie to come out. Yeah.
Awesome. This is an honorable mention for me. I just don't know too much about it. You know, you mentioned the Alien franchise. Everyone's favorite nerd director, Josh Whedon, directed Alien 3, I think, or Alien 4.
Wasn't that one of the bad ones?
It's one of the bad ones, but check it out if you're a fan of Josh Whedon. Unfortunately for me, this one's an honorable mention until I see more about it.
Check out that trailer, man.
Yeah?
Cool.
Okay, I'll have to check it out after this episode.
Did not make any of my lists. I'm not super into the Alien franchise. I know our boy Izzy Nobre is going to kill me for that.
Oh, man.
He's huge into this universe.
Has the figures.
Yeah.
He does.
Really?
So,
yeah.
Again, wait and see if it gets good reviews and that. I did see Prometheus. I didn't get the white dudes. I didn't get some of it. So.
Yeah.
The engineers?
Yeah. So I'll give it a chance here, but probably more of a Netflix, Blu-ray type thing for me.
I'll let you guys know how it
digital
is.
code from Sunjay.
Yeah. I'll have to get the steelbook on this one.
We get number 9, Sunjay.
Number 9, Blade Runner 2049. So normally, you know, sequels which are over 20 years overdue don't really excite me. But you throw in the director, Denis Villeneuve. He's French-Canadian, so I butchered his last name. I'm sorry. The guy who did Prisoners, Sicario, and then the brilliant film Arrival that just came out this year. He has me excited about this project. You throw in Ryan Gosling. You throw in Jared Leto, everyone's favorite Joker, right? My hopes are high again, so yeah, I'm excited for this. This is number 9 for me.
Is Harrison Ford coming back?
He is.
Yes,
he is.
I was surprised to see him in the trailer, actually. I did not realize that he's going back and probably killing off all of his old franchise characters.
Probably.
Yeah. This is just the first one, or second one.
This didn't make my list, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I know it's one of the greatest sci-fi movies of all time. I did see it in theaters, actually, when I went to university. They did have it re-showing in one of the independent theaters, so it's pretty cool to see that. But there's like 1,000 cuts of the original Blade Runner.
Yeah, it's kind of like BVS, where like the ultimate cut is like the best version, then the theatrical cut, and there's like a European cut, and I think an Asian cut as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Wow,
so
a lot of cuts.
There's a ton of cuts in this film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then each of the films, the replicants and all that, like there's some more and more ambiguity depending on which cut you watched about whether Harrison Ford, like, it's an interesting franchise. And I think they're going to address some of those questions from fandom within this Blade Runner 2049. So I'm interested in that aspect of it, but again, it doesn't sit on my list here at all.
Yeah, never made my list. Didn't make my radar. I've never even seen Blade Runner. It's never appealed to me. I'm a huge Ryan Gosling fan, though. Yeah. So I'll kind of take your word on it, whether I want to check it out or not to see it. But got no interest so far.
It'd be interesting to see, going back with all these, great sci-fi films we had, to see if Blade Runner actually holds up. I mean, it was a touchstone film for the time, and I really enjoyed it. And I think Ridley Scott did an excellent job. So I'm looking forward to this.
And I think what we should do here, for every film that's on our top 10 list and how much they differ, it doesn't really matter. I think they all warrant a review here on the podcast. Then for Blade Runner 2049, one thing that we will do is we'll go back and revisit Blade Runner prior to, like we do with comic book arcs prior to going into, say, an Old Man Logan. We'll review that movie and talk about it, kind of do a prelude episode to these. So my number 8 here, Justice League.
Okay, I see what you did. Okay, Spider-Man, you're off my list now.
This isn't about fandom bashing. This is just my confidence in the movie. I'm excited about this because I like the idea of assembling a team, similar to how Avengers was and all that. The aspects of Batman vs Superman that I didn't like was that, but I'm a little bit more confident that they're going to maybe take some cues and some ideas from Batman vs Superman that didn't work and integrate them together. The first trailer was a bit of a mess, I thought, and the Flash, Bruce Wayne stuff was interesting, but maybe not. Aquaman looks like a bit of a dick. But at the same time, I'm interested to see these characters interact together, and that's why it sits slightly higher on this list for me than Wonder Woman. It's just that I'm more unsure of what this movie is going to be, which gives me a little bit more confidence that it could potentially be something really cool.
Yeah? No, I mean, I'm actually surprised it made your list, to be honest. I was thinking this one was going to drop off, but I'm glad you putting it at number 8. For me, it's number 1. It's a no-brainer for me. It's like the Avengers coming together. The first time we get Batman, Superman, Aquaman, Flash, Cyborg. Who else am I missing here? Wonder Woman, of course. And, this is the 5th film. This is going to be the 5th film with the DC Cinematic Universe. Avengers was the 6th film with the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So I feel like, we got a solo Superman. If you count Batman v Superman as kind of a Batman film, and then a solo Wonder Woman film, we are getting a little bit, I think the timing is right. If they put this in a little bit earlier, it wouldn't have worked as well before Wonder Woman, but because it's at the end of the year, I think, the time will be just fine. It'll be just perfect, and Zack Snyder's going to nail it. I say this about all his films, okay, but I think he's going to nail it. He's going to just connect with the audience like he did with 300, or like he did with, I guess, just 300. But, a lot of criticism of the DC Cinematic Universe, so this one has a lot riding on it, but for me, it's number 1. I'm just super excited, and to see Aquaman... I'm a huge Aquaman fan as well, and I think he's going to be a standout of the film. Jason Momoa looks awesome. He looks nothing like Aquaman in the comic books, but he looks badass, and I think he's going to dispel all the talk about Aquaman being lame and being sucky. So I'm excited. I mean, bring it on. Bring on the Justice League.
All right, man. Well, I'm looking through my list, and I don't have Justice League anywhere on my list.
Troy, you hurt me, buddy. I thought we were pals, and you stabbed me.
Yeah, I'm a DC guy, man, all the way, and that's probably the reason more so why I can't get behind this film, because I don't feel like they're doing the universe justice. No pun intended. Yeah. I don't like anything I've seen so far. Yeah. The trailer I didn't like. It feels way too small. When I saw the Avengers trailer, it looked massive. I was like, this is big. This makes sense why all these characters are getting together to take on whatever threat. Seeing this trailer, I was like, this is weird.
But you gotta remember, this it wasn't a trailer. It was just some footage that they put together for Comic-Con, just saying, like, because they had only started filming for like 3 weeks or something before.
Yeah, and that's another like, I don't want to get into it, but that's a misstep. Like, don't put something out there that you don't have the confidence in yet.
Exactly. And Bryan Singer did the same thing with his Apocalypse. He did the same thing when he put together and Apocalypse was purple, and he's like, just to let you guys know, this is just whatever footage that we have. And I was like, well, don't give me that then. I'd rather not have that, come to play, right? So and Aquaman's not doing it for me. He kind of has that look, though, the Aquaman, when he only had one arm, which was kind of cool.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I like that.
So he kind of has that look. The Batman suit's changed a little bit. I don't like the Flash, and I love the Flash on TV. I don't like this Flash played by Miller.
Ezra
Miller. Yeah, and it just everything seems kind of flat for me in this movie. So yeah, it did make my list. I don't want to get any more into it.
That's good. That's good. Low expectations.
Yeah.
You know, it's easier to jump over a 1 foot bar than an 8 foot bar. So.
that's just good.
Well, why don't you lay on your number 8 for us, Troy?
Number 8, actually, I have Guardians. Yeah, I have Guardians on my list for number 8.
That's far down.
I know it's
eight,
far down.
Guardians.
It's far down. It's just because I think there's so many good things coming out this year. But I'm super excited. Like it might be low, but I'm still like super anticipating this movie. But Guardians is gonna be cool because one, it's gonna be one of the figures, the Marvel Legends that I'm gonna pick up, which is cool. I like what they're doing there. The movie as a whole was such a surprise from Guardians 1. I had zero information about this franchise. I saw the movie, fell in love with Rocket. I mean, how can you go wrong with that character? So this movie, it feels like it's going to do something a little bit different. I hope so. It's going to be funny. It's probably going to be one of the funniest Marvel movies we see. Yeah. The effects look great. I can't wait to see more Thanos. Hopefully we get some of that going on.
I don't know if we're going to get Thanos.
We won't get any more. Or at least storylines leading up to Infinity War.
Yeah, they've got to tie into that. I bet.
They have to tie in with that. And I like Kurt Russell. He's a pretty good actor. So I'll see how that goes. Yeah.
Can I make one, if you're listening, James Gunn, which I'm sure he is, please don't do the dance-off scene again for the ending.
Yeah,
okay,
that
was the one nitpick I had of the first movie.
Yeah. That's kind of
the movie was on TV today, and I sat down, watched it a bit, and I was like engaged again for the first 30 minutes. And I've seen this film like 3 times, and I was like, wow, this is like a really good film.
The humor.
Yeah.
The humor's incredible.
And the heart, too.
Yeah.
Like the first 5 minutes.
And it's one of the best ensembles, right? Again, this is what backs my trust in Marvel, because they know how to handle like a bunch of characters at once, right?
Yeah.
And a bunch of really weird characters.
Right? Like this, on paper, this movie shouldn't have worked. It should have been horrible, right?
Yeah.
So
this one, no surprise here. It sits at my number 2.
Oh, no, number 2.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I get
really
it.
anticipating this film. Yeah. No, I'm really looking forward to this film. Guardians is one of my favorite comic book series, even before the film franchise got kicked off here. I love the movie. I love what James Gunn's doing. This guy is a fantastic writer, director combo here. He seems to have the voice of each of these individual characters coming right out of that second trailer. And the tone that they have here is absolutely fantastic. I love what they're doing with this franchise. It's on its own little planet, if you will, in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's going to have big implications, I think, at least for the overall narrative when it comes to the Infinity War. They're going to be seeding a lot of these ideas, I think, in this film. And cosmic is another huge aspect of the comics that I love. And this film just hits every single aspect of what I really love about Marvel Comics, particularly from the cosmic end.
Will we get Adam Warlock, though? I want Adam Warlock.
So.
Yeah,
I think so.
Really do.
So we have Aisha, or whatever her name is, which is a character that's connected to Adam Warlock. Okay. So that there's a character in there that has deeper connections. I still don't know if we're going to get an Infinity Stone in this.
Right.
I think that there's going to be something there with Ego the Living Planet having the Soul Stone, and that's why the planet is sentient and all that.
I like that.
That's my prediction. I don't really know if that's going to come true or not, but I'm really, really looking forward to this movie. It was one of my most anticipated when it first dropped in 2014.
Yeah.
And it continues through here. I love what I'm seeing here.
Nice.
I have that at number 6, and pretty much echoing the same statements we just made. You know, it was a great first film. Looking forward to the second film. Let's see what they got. All
right, Sunjay, you're number 8.
So number 8, Kingsman 2. We already talked about that. And number 7, Logan. This would probably be lower if it wasn't for that awesome trailer we got. That trailer for me was the best trailer of 2016. Maybe that or Wonder Woman. The thing is that's kind of holding us back from being even higher would be like, where does this take place? Like, you know, the whole X-Men timeline is just so confusing.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah. I'm just going to go in it and have fun, and I think that's what you have to do to enjoy this one. So I have that at number 7.
Yeah, Logan I got at number 4, actually, on my list here.
Oh.
Yeah, Logan, I actually didn't mind part 2, except the third act was horrible. The last 20 minutes was just horrendous in that film. But, I mean, X-Men's track record is better than worse, right? I mean, for the most part. So I have a lot of faith. This is the last time we're going to see Hugh Jackman. At least that's what they say, right? Yeah. As Logan. I'm a big fan of the Old Man Logan storyline, even though I don't see them pulling that much from the comic book that, again, Mark Millar as well did. My only beef with this movie is I don't really like how young, and Tim and I have gone back and forth about this, how young they've gone with X-23.
No.
That's a missed opportunity with having her that young.
I don't like how it's going to be a rated R film with like a 10-year-old slicing and dicing people.
Yeah,
it doesn't make sense to me.
If you're going to try and pass the mantle, I mean, I guess they could always say like they've cloned her the first time, so they can clone her and be older. Yeah. I don't know, but again, that's just more timeline nonsense that X-Men has to do.
Like retconning all the time,
right?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
You need to retcon. Like,
no, yeah. So, but I love the tone, and just going off this trailer, it puts it up so high for me. Yeah.
I have it sitting at number 6 here. So this is another one of my cautiously optimistic films. I have a feeling that from this first trailer, it's getting a lot of hype. Yeah. I'm still not confident in the story yet. I really don't know exactly where they're going. I know they're trying to mimic a bit of the Old Man Logan storyline, at least this far-flung future. But at the same time, I look at some of these scenes, I look how Hugh Jackman looks in some of them. I just don't feel like he's going to be his best Wolverine in this film.
Yeah.
And it comes back again to the story. I'm just not confident that it's going to be a good story. I'm looking forward to being wrong there. But that's why this sits slightly lower on my list. But because it's Hugh Jackman's last outing as Wolverine, that's what's kind of got it up in this list a bit more. And some of the unknowns have me curious here. But I echo your thoughts, Troy, there with X-23. And I like the fact that Patrick Stewart's in there. And it looks like it could be an intriguing story, but wait and see for me.
Yeah.
Do you think we're going to finally see him in his classic costume?
No.
I think they missed that already.
Yeah.
We should have saw it in X or X2. Actually, even X2. But Wolverine 2
or even X-Men Apocalypse or something.
Yeah,
so they would have worked in that one.
Nah, they need. I think they've missed the boat on that one.
I think that's actually the worst portrayal of his Wolverine was in X-Men Apocalypse.
Yeah.
Weird.
It was a cool set of what is it called when he had the thing on his face.
It was a big throwback to the original comic.
The Weapon X project.
Weapon X, that's it. Yeah.
But it was still kind of funny.
Yeah.
And so he looked like he was half worked out there too.
Yeah. So, and he just runs off to the forest.
Yeah. It's amazing how much the X-Men universe or the X-Men films always find their way in Canada.
Yeah, true. My number 7, Dunkirk.
Okay, yeah.
I'm really looking forward to the return of Christopher Nolan, and I'm a huge fan of World War II films, and I think he is the right guy to be doing a story like this. This looks pretty epic, and it's a great story. Like World War II, these are like Saving Private Ryan, one of my favorite films, Band of Brothers, unreal. And if he can take some of those elements and produce a film that tells a very epic story, a very pivotal story in World War II, that's why this sits at number 7 for me. It's not as high as some of these comic book films because that's the universe that we're in, but a different film coming to us and from Christopher Nolan, like he's never really disappointed. Yeah, I'm really excited about this film.
I have it number 3. Really anticipating this film. I love Christopher Nolan. I think this guy's a brilliant filmmaker. What sold me the most, actually, it wasn't even the trailer. It was actually the second time seeing Rogue One. I don't know about you guys, but they played like a minute 30 clip of the movie, and I was blown away.
No, I didn't get that.
Yeah, it was awesome. The stuff that is basically about 3 different storylines going on at once within this minute 30 second trailer.
Shit,
there.
I wanted to see that.
Yeah, so that's what sold me on this film. I can't wait. I really liked Interstellar. I love everything. That he's done. The Dark Knight trilogy was pretty good too, so I can't wait to see this movie. Number 3 on my list.
Okay, I have it number 3 as well. When we went back and we did that top 10 or top 5 directors, he was the only one that was on all 3 of our lists. So
that's right.
It's good to see him back in the film industry. I'm a little bit worried about this film in terms of the box office numbers. I'm hearing production budgets of $160-170 million, and we talked about how crowded the summer is going to be. Is a World War II movie going to make that back in North America? It's going to be tough to say. I hope it does, because then that means he gets more projects. I mean, this guy will always get projects, even if this bombs.
This is a WB as well?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So he seems firmly ingrained with them.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're expecting to make a ton of money off this. Like, these are Christopher Nolan films. Like, they're going to do well, but they're Oscar bait movies.
Yeah.
Like, they're about putting WB on a pedestal here,
yeah,
and bringing some of that pride to the studio here, that they're producing these type of films. And this isn't a sequel film either. Like, they're not building a franchise.
It's the only non-sequel or non-franchise film on my top 10 list, so that says something.
Definitely.
The one thing I thought that looked cool was, you see them in the boats and you see the old Canadian flag in the boats. And I thought that was really cool because a lot of times during World War II movies, especially with Hollywood, it's just centered on Americans.
Yeah.
And I don't know too much about the Dunkirk story. I could kind of want to not hear too much about it, so that way I'm kind of surprised for the movie. But from the brief stuff I have heard, the Americans weren't there. Correct me if I'm wrong, someone. So I heard it was French, British, Belgians, and Canadian forces. It's nice to see Canadians, in there as well, as a Canadian myself.
It was basically one of the pivotal moments of World War II. Essentially, there's about 400,000 soldiers trapped on a beach with the Germans surrounding them. And I won't tell the story here, but it's a really interesting story. And what happens, actually, it changes the outcome of the war almost. Okay. So it's a really cool story to tell. It does have not the same effect maybe as Storming the Beaches Normandy, D-Day type thing, but it does have a huge impact for the future of the war. This could have ended the war. Yeah. Way earlier than
that's interesting. And hopefully I had to see the film, but hopefully this gives Nolan his Oscar, because I think he's deserved it in a couple other films previously. I think he definitely, I mean, I'm biased, but I think he definitely should have won for The Dark Knight. But
yeah, we got Tom Hardy in here too.
Yeah.
So
and Harry Styles,
right?
Yeah.
So who knows? Yeah. And last Oscar winner, Mark Rylance.
Yeah,
as well. Best supporting. Yeah, he's also in there.
Yeah. A lot of these guys are invisible in World War II films. You never really see them.
Yeah.
All right, so jumping through some of these lists, so we're getting to the point now where we've covered a lot of our upper top 5 movies here, with the exception of a few here. And I'm going to throw out my number 5, War for the Planet of the Apes. Absolutely love this franchise. This is nostalgia for me. This goes back to the original Apes movies that I watched with my dad when I was quite young. I like what they've done with the subsequent rebooting of this franchise, and I'm really excited for this. This looks like a post-apocalyptic film. It looks like we're going to get a lot of horseback riding, apes shooting guns. So I'm really excited for this film.
Yeah. No, surprise, I have it at number 5 as well. So we actually agreed on something.
There we go.
This film has a lot of nostalgia for me. I remember New Year's Eve, they used to have the marathons on space, and that's how I got on Planet of the Apes, and I got the VHSs, and I got the Blu-rays, so I think this is one of the better franchises that we have going today, and I'm super excited. This is first day for me, IMAX if it's in IMAX, and 3D if it's in 3D.
Nice.
Yeah, it's one of my honorable mentions, but I'm a huge fan of the franchise, even going back to the space days. And they just announced, I believe, that Nova has been cast as well, which is huge, right? Yeah. So I can't wait to see this movie. I love what they did in part 1 and part 2. So
awesome.
Yeah.
My number 4, Spider-Man Homecoming.
Nice.
Wow, we agreed again.
Yeah. Really excited for this new Marvel franchise kicking off here. We did get his introduction in Civil War. Really like what they did there. Really excited from the first trailer. We did have the Iron Man Spider-Man scene, like I said, when we did a bit of a review on that. Yep. Almost flew out of the seat when I did see that. Right. I'm excited for Tom Holland's portrayal of Spider-Man. We get going back to high school.
Yes.
And Troy, I'm assuming this is your
number one. Number one. Yeah, hands down. I can't wait to see this movie. Everything I've seen of this movie, trailers and whatnot, and promotional art, it's just had me jumping in my seats. The first time I saw them, when they had that little trailer actually for Civil War, we saw Spider-Man, I jumped out of my seat. And when I saw the trailer itself, I jumped out of my seat. So yeah, I think you guys get it. I can't wait to see this movie. So number 1, hands down.
Awesome. So are you a fan of the previous 5 then?
A little bit. They both have their weaknesses. I didn't like part 3 for Spider-Man, the Sam Raimi, and I hated part 2 for the Mark Webb Spider-Man. Yeah.
No, fair enough. I mean, this movie has a lot riding on it. It's my number 4. Each Spider-Man film has made less at the box office in North America than the previous one. So, I mean, Spider-Man was like a cash cow with the Sam Raimi trilogy, so we got to get back to that. I love Spider-Man. I want to see more Spider-Man films. The only one concern is the Vulture. I'm not a huge Vulture fan, but Michael Keaton is the man, so...
The Birdman.
Yeah, so if anyone can pull it off, it's him, but maybe it's for the best. I mean, we got these, like, eccentric villains in Lizard and Electro, and it was just all special effects, and maybe having a more grounded villain will bring the franchise back to its roots and its heyday.
Right on. I think we've all said our number 3 and 2.
3, Dunkirk. 2, Wonder Woman for me.
Yeah.
2 for me is Episode 8.
Episode
8. For sure. Okay. Star Wars. Yeah. Can't wait to see this saga film, man. Oh, yeah.
This sits at my number 1.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Of course. I'm immensely excited to revisit the Force Awakens era, these characters that we grew to love in Rey, Finn, Poe, getting some more insight here on the Knights of Ren, on who Snoke is, and the background of Rey. There's so much to tell in this film. And this is going to be a huge film. This is going to be a big part of our lives going forward for the next year.
For sure. This is going to be a game changer. This could be like the Empire Strikes Back. Not for the tone, but just for the fact that we get that moment of, Rey, I am your mother or father, right?
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, there's so much to explore. They left so many cliffhangers in The Force Awakens, so much for us to chew on. And then we have Bloodlines and all these comic books with Poe that are teasing different aspects of what this Force Awakens era could be for the Star Wars universe. And I'm immensely excited to explore this in a lot more detail.
Can't wait.
Unfortunately, this is my honorable mention. I'm sorry.
Oh, man.
I know. I'm never going to come back on this podcast. I'm excited for it. I'm going to see it in theaters. I'm going to get the Steelbook. But for me, there's just so many comic book movies and other franchises that are coming out that have more of a nostalgia factor for me than Star Wars is a relatively new franchise that I just got into. So I'm sure it's going to be great.
It's a stacked year.
Yeah. It's just, if this came out last year, it would have been on my list. 2017 is just so many films.
There is a lot of films here, and it's interesting to see how much our lists differ. There's a lot of similar movies on there. There's not a lot of discrepancy among what movies we're excited for, because there's a lot of other movies dropping, like The Mummy, Transformers, Fate and the Furious, or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
There's a lot of these kind of fluff movies, these franchise movies.
Triple X.
Yeah.
Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so there's a lot of these movies that are dropping here, but it seems that consistently we have similar movies but very different anticipation levels, which is good to see, which makes me excited for us to review these movies. We're going to be reviewing all of these. I love having the different opinions and having Sunjay back here to give some of that contrasting opinion when it comes to Star Wars, when it comes to DC, because sometimes Troy and I align on some of these ideas and some of these aspects of these films, and it's nice to have a third party here that can bring a totally different view, and I'm excited for the different view, particularly when it comes to the Star Wars films, because we're so ingrained in this universe, sometimes we're slightly blinded by that. And so having a different opinion, I'm really excited for. We're going to have a ton of movie reviews this year. We're going to do at least, probably, I'm going to say 12 or 15. So we're really excited for that going down here. And we have a retrospective series that we're revisiting here. Yep. And a lot of fun stuff coming here in 2017, both from the film industry, TV, comics, collecting, and the Nerd Room podcast itself.
Yeah, 2017 is shaping up to be a great year. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm coming in with excitement. 2016, it seemed like a lot of people were down on the year by the time the year ended, but 2017 is here. Let's get going. I can't wait. What's the first one? Logan? Or Triple X, I guess?
Or Lego Batman?
Lego Batman, never
Didn't
made
make
it
the list.
No.
I
I like the Lego movie, but I don't know if they can carry it for just Batman for like 2 hours. We'll see. I'm still going to see it.
Yeah,
but
definitely. All right, guys. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure talking most anticipated 2017 with you guys. Sanjay, it's been great having you back.
It's good to be back. It feels good.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, remind everyone where they can find you on Twitter.
Oh, jeez. Find me on Twitter. You can find me in my personal Twitter at Sunjabby or the 1912 Podcast, even though there's no 1912 Podcast right now. I'm looking to get that going. Me and Baron might do a horror podcast, but at 1912 Podcasting is the Twitter handle. So shoot me a tweet.
Awesome. Check out those Steelbooks.
Yeah, right? I just constantly tweet about Steelbooks. So if you're into Steelbooks, shoot me a tweet.
Oh. Awesome. You can always grab us at #EnterTheNerdRoom if you'd like to be part of the discussion. We'd like to know what you guys are anticipating for 2017, how much different it is than our list, and what did we leave off here? Is there some movie that we totally forgot about that's going to blow us all away? Really looking forward to hearing your guys' thoughts on 2017. And always remember, we are part of a much larger podcast network, the Star Wars Commonwealth Podcast Network. You can always check us all out at StarWarsCommonwealth.com. Go check out all the other podcasts. There's some great stuff dropping right now in reference to Rogue One. We got Rebels returning next week, so be sure to tune in back here on the feed you're listening to right now for Star Wars Rebels Alert. We're going through the brand new episode, which does indeed have Saw Gerrera in it. I was incorrect in stating last week that he was not in this episode. It does appear he's going to be in this episode. It's going to be an exciting episode to discuss coming off the back end of Rogue One here, and appropriately timed as well.
Perfect.
I feel like some stormtroopers are going to burst in and take me away for not putting Star Wars on my list.
I may cut you out as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe a Rancor will come
Just
in.
kidding.
If I knew what that meant.
All right, guys. Until next week, for the Nerd Room, I'm Tim.
I'm Troy.
And I'm Sunjay.
And thank you for entering the Nerd Room.
This has been a Nerd Room Podcast production. You can find our hosts, Tim and Troy, on Twitter at TheNerdRM and Troy TheBoy87. Don't forget to subscribe to the Nerd Room on iTunes, Facebook, and YouTube. Just search the Nerd Room Podcast. Be sure to head over to StarWarsCommonwealth.com to find other podcasts on the Star Wars Commonwealth Podcast Network, including Talk Star Wars, Generation X-Wing, Tumbling Saber, Rogue Squadron Podcast, and the Skyhopper Podcast. Follow the Star Wars Commonwealth on Twitter at SW Commonwealth and take your first steps into a larger world.